Okay, here's a video that I've been putting off for a little while. This is a Saab 95NG and it has a problem with its heated seats, and this is a fairly well-known issue with this particular car. The heated seat pads just get damaged and stop working. So how you recognize that you have a fault is that when you actually switch on your heated seats on the dashboard, the light will come on for maybe 30 seconds and then will go out again when it detects that the pads are not functioning. Now, I've already ascertained that the issue is with the seat in this car. So what I'm going to be doing is showing you how to disassemble the seat, remove it from the car, and then change over the heated seat pad and then basically put it back together again. So the first thing that we need to do is remove this blanking plate off of the side of the chair here. So we just do that by giving it a tug. Like so. If you have a look underneath it, you can see that it has these 4 connectors, and basically you're meant to just slide it up. And if we move the seatbelt out of the way, you'll find that one of the screws that we need is just here. The second thing that we need to do is remove the circular panel on this handle. So we just use a plastic removal tool or a screwdriver just to pop it in there and knock it out, like that, which gives us a second screw that we need in here. So you want a T30 Torx bit to take off the 2 screws. You probably don't need a ratchet quite this big, but it's actually the only one that I have to hand, so yes. We'll just remove the handle and just pop it over there, and then we'll remove this screw here as well, which apparently is already loose. Now the handle here is just going to come off now, like so. And just chuck that over here, and on the back of the chair here you can see there's another screw hole. So just going to pop that off and we'll remove this screw and that will release it. So at this point, this plastic is now only held on with a few clips, so we can just take it off. And now we have the 2 electrical points for the chair control that we just need to release. And there we go. So the next point of call is to loosen the screws that hold this metal bar on, and the screws are Torx 25, the same as the screw on the back of the chair, so that's what we're going to be doing now. So now that this is a little bit loose, you'll be able to put your hand under this sort of plastic here, and just if you pull it away from the metal, this is what's holding the leather sides of the chair onto the chair frame. There we go. And here as well, like so. And under the front of the chair here, you're going to find that you have some cable ties holding the chair in place. So we're going to snip them. So you can go ahead and pull the plastic from underneath here, which clips the front on all the way around. So now it is here hanging down. And these are the 4 clips on the back of the chair that you just unhook from underneath. You've got 2 long ones at the edges and then 2 little ones in the center. So now that we've unhooked the side, the front and the back, we need to get to the opposite side, and obviously because it's between the center console and the chair, that's a little bit more difficult. So move the chair back slightly so that you've got more room, because the center console moves further away from the chair as you get further back, and then you'll be able to get your hand in underneath just to unlatch those. Okay, that's it. So now we should find that I can just lift this up. Let's have a look. Let's have a go. Yes, there we go. And just pull it out. But before you yank too hard, remember that it's still connected electrically, which probably should have undone them earlier. So you've got the heat pad connection and I think it also has a weight sensor as well for the seat belt light, so we just need to undo both of those from underneath. We'll do that from the back. Okay, so here it is, and just to show you, we have this cable here which is for the heat pad, and this cable here which is for the weight sensor. Okay, and yeah, we have the seat off now, thank God for that. Right, now we can actually replace the pad and get on with it. That doesn't look very comfortable. Right, to complete this next phase, you're going to need some bolt cutters and some cable ties. Okay, and the reason why you need bolt cutters is because the leather is actually held on by a bunch of metal rings, and there is no way to remove them without cutting them, and once you've cut them, obviously you can't put them back on, but that's fine because we've got our cable ties and they're just as strong, and they will leave the chair in exactly the same condition that we found it in. So we'll start by going around and snipping all of the metal rings without damaging the leather. I'm trying to remove all of the bits of metal as I go as well. And this chair is actually in much better condition than the driver's seat, which all this foam has basically become decayed and was all over the place, but this one is actually in pretty good condition. Let's just switch it around. Okay, so now what we do is we flip it back the other way around and we start to lift the leather over the top of the seat. And you're going to get to about as far as here, and you're going to see that there's a sort of a plastic bar being held on by several metal rings, so this is where we're going to snip the rings again. And again at the back. And at the front. Just remove all the remaining bits of metal. If you leave them in here, there's always a chance that they might pierce your new heating pad, and then you'll be back to square one, which is not great after all this work. Right, okay, last side. Okay, so there we go. So the leather's off, and as you can see the heating element actually stuck to this seat, and it's a GM product, and you have the GM product number here. I will say you might be tempted to peel this heating element off of this seat. Do not do that. The foam is well over 10 years old, and you will end up taking half the foam off with the heating element. So just leave it there. And what we're going to do is we'll put the new heating element on here. But what we don't need is the actual power plug. So I'm just going to feed that through. This thing here just needs to go. So I'm just going to cut it off. Let's go and get the new heat. So here is the new heating pad. It's a bit worse for wear at this point because it's been knocking about my car for the past year and a bit because I haven't got around to actually fitting it, but I'm sure it still works. So part number is 209-82983. It's a GM official product, and I will leave a link in the video description as to where you can find it. Right, so you'll see it on the back. It has all of these adhesive pads, and that is what we're going to use to stick it in place. I'm going to start with the actual bottom of the heat pad, and then we'll do the sides in a minute. I'm going to put this directly on the one that's already there. Lead just goes down the center like it did before, through the hole, so that it comes out underneath like so. And now we can do the wings. So let's push the side bits down in the center like the other one, and then they just live up the bolsters like this. And there we go. So at this point, it is time to put our chair back together. And remember, we won't be using the rings that we have taken off. Instead, we will be using cable ties. So the first point of call is to just position the chair leather back over the seat. And starting with the front, we can start fixing this seat cover back on. So through the hole and then around the metal bar in the foam, and then pull it tight. Just cut off the excess. And it's going to be 4 cable ties per side, just as there were 4 rings per side. And that is a completed, repaired, heated seat. And now we need to put it back in the car, which is a pain. So let's go and do that now. Oh, right, so basically it's the reverse of how we took it out. I like to do the most difficult stuff first, so we know that the most difficult side of this is the side that is between the center console and the chair, so that's what I'm going to do first. I want to hook those plastic bits back under the metal bars so that it's in place. Now interestingly, that is already done. That was very, very easy indeed. So what I'm going to do now is the front side. So that's the front done. So now we need to do this side. So that's that side done, so now we're going to do the back. We've got those 4 connectors on the back like I showed you before, which just need to be hooked back into place. Okay, now that's done, and whilst I was under there, I also connected the heated seat and the weight sensor as well. So now at this point, this chair is back together, apart from the plastic side pieces, which we now need to start putting back together. Tighten this bar back up again. Okay, so now that I've screwed the handle back into place, I need to screw this handle back into place as well, which is this one here. We'll put the screw on the end of the piece and then drop that in here, like so, and then we can drop it directly in place here. Yep, so that's working perfectly. So we'll just drop the plastic piece back into place, like so, and then we're missing one piece here, which is this part here. So as we can see, it should just drop down, so I'm hoping this will be nice and easy as well. Ow. And there we go. Now obviously there's just that one screw on the back of this chair which I need to do, so I'm just going to do that and then we're done here. Thankfully the heated seats are working perfectly on both sides now, the passenger side and the driver's side. So this car literally doesn't actually have anything that doesn't work in it at the moment, which I'm pretty damn happy with. So yeah, I hope this video was useful for you. If you have any questions, please ask in the comments section below. Yeah, and until next time.